What's up, Dyers? Darkrogan here, and welcome back to another video. Now, in this video, I basically wanted to talk about the weapon balances that, of course, Toho actually implemented into the game. And in my opinion, this is probably one of the most strangest recommendations that I've ever heard of and balance changes into the game. But anyway, we're just going to be talking about all the things that they actually changed. Number one, which I find the most just strangest and just probably like the worst dumbest one, is of course the sawed-off shotgun. Before, the sawed-off shotgun had at least, like, I believe 3 to 4 clips, I believe, or magazines at a side, and how much bullets it had currently in each single how many bullets I had in each magazine was at least 8, which was already a good amount because this gun was not that decent before because nobody really used it. And now they just made it, in my opinion, a little bit more worse because this gun now has 2 shots in each magazine and has a total of, I believe, 28 magazines in a side. So basically 30 magazines in total, I'm pretty sure. Now, the problem with this is mainly because they only butchered it and basically made it even worse. What I mean is basically they only made it so every single time you shoot twice, if you don't hit those 2 shots, you have to wait 5 decades and then you can shoot again 2 more shots. And what happens when you basically are fighting a juggernaut and basically all the other zombies from the deepest parts of hell? Well, it's going to take you basically 10 centuries to actually kill them all, or you'll die faster than basically Usain Bolt himself. This gun is basically a nerfed version of what it used to be. The damage is still okay. The spread of the shotgun things, or shotgun pellets, is already just the same. What they only did was they just basically allowed the magazines to basically be super long reloading time, that this gun even falls even further back into the do not buy Roblox weapons. In my opinion, the only thing that they should do to basically get this gun back to how it used to be was to basically just get the magazines back, and that's basically it. Like, there's nothing really else to actually change. But on the other side, or basically in my opinion, you should also basically make it so that the pellets of the shotgun pellets, bolt shots, should probably spread out a little bit more further and wider to, make it so this gun is actually worth getting. If you're a crossbow player, this is good. But if you're not, then do not get this gun, please. Alright, so the next thing on our list is actually the holiday ham. And in my opinion, probably decreasing the heal per bite from 100 to 70 was probably one of the... Okay, I can see what you did there, and I kind of do agree with you. This is basically one of the best melees to actually buy in the game, aka one of the best Robux items you should actually buy. Alongside primaries and secondaries, this is a very decent or very, very useful, what's it called, melee weapon. Now, is it broken? Yes, it was broken because, well, you got to heal basically 300 HP in total. But since they decreased it to 75, I think it's still an okay weapon to actually use. So you did another good job. Congratulations. Get a pat on the back. And that's basically it. I just wanted to say that the holiday ham is basically kind of still the same, and more or less it was a pretty decent decision. And not many people actually bought this, but if you do buy it, then it's still a very good weapon, and I would totally recommend it as well. And what a surprise, they actually made another buff to the Vector. At this point, if Toa's ever hearing this, which I kind of think they would because they deleted that thing on Union Cave, basically just kind of stop basically making changes to this gun. Currently in the game, as I was testing this, it's a decent gun, okay? From 1 to 10, how would I rate it? I would say it's a 4.5. Not that bad, but not that good. Currently in the game, it's an okay weapon. And would I make any changes? No, not anymore, because it's already have, I believe, 3 buffs. And mostly those were damages, ammunition, and I'm not too sure about rate of fire. But either way, currently in this game, the Vector is already a pretty decent gun. And I would not change anything at this point. So if you are hearing this, which I doubt you will, then just basically stop making changes to it and focus on other things. This gun is already like a gun where it wasn't really worth getting it, aka before that patch where you only had to get a few wins, and you had to get a crap ton of wins to actually earn this. It's okay gun, not that rewarding, and I would say just basically it's already a decent gun, and to not make any more changes, really. It's already decent at the game, and I don't think it needs to be overpowered. So for now, the gun is already in a decent spot. And the next one on our list is surprisingly a flamethrower, which they have not touched since its what's it called, beginning in this game, or I guess discovery. I don't know. But anyway, this gun was already a okay one to actually pick. In my video where I did a tier list of basically the Roblox primary weapons, except the minigun, because honestly that would basically take the number 1 spot, who would have thought. This gun was basically at its number 5 spot because it was already a decent gun, but it had its many drawbacks. And when I basically tested this gun out on Sunday, I basically saw how actually very useful this gun was. With the right setup, aka with basically its primary, either the laser pistol or the revolver, the crap, I don't even remember its name, Magnum or something like that. The one that's basically its top tier spot in the secondaries video I did. This compare this, the flamethrower, and those two pistols, this setup is actually good because the pistol will actually kill any farther away zombies like Tangler and stuff, and the Inferno as well. Either way, the flamethrower's animation where it shoots out flames was actually really satisfying. I don't know why I find it like that. And the other thing was, I don't know why, but I have this feeling where the flames don't go as far as they used to be. And one of the things I noticed, which I'm pretty sure many other people noticed or not, was that if you go in third person and you start shooting around in directions wherever your mouse is, the flames won't actually shoot in that direction, only which way your character is facing. So if you're in third person and your character is facing basically your screen, and there's a zombie behind you and starts shooting at the zombie, it won't actually shoot at that zombie, but more or less in front of you, completely missing the zombie. This damage, on the other hand, is very, very powerful. I don't know why. The burning damage is also very increased, and more or less, I would have to say that the flamethrower is actually in a pretty decent spot right now. If I have to rate it from 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 6. It's very good with the right setup, aka those two pistols and the flamethrower. But either way, I would only change the fact that you can't shoot any other direction apart from the fact whichever way your character is facing. So that's the only thing I would change, but still, you did another great thing. You should do it again. And finally, the next gun on the list is the Galil 5.56. This is basically a notorious gun for basically being one of the most overpowered weapons in the game currently. And the reason for this was because the fire rate was heavily increased to being only 0.1. Yeah, I don't know how else to say that. 0.1 rate of fire. And basically, this gun is a mini version of the Sterling and has the damage of, for an example, the Tommy gun, if that makes sense. But not exactly as much damage as the Tommy gun. But either way, this gun is super overpowered. The many times I've actually used it, I've basically found myself liking this gun more than I ever could. Number one, this gun has a decent amount of ammo, like around 20 bullets in each magazine and 7 magazines in on the side. But currently, of course, you have another magazine you're holding, so 8 magazines in total, which basically means that you're going to be lasering every single zombie. From 1 to 10, how overpowered is this? I would say it's like a 7. It is super overpowered and it desperately needs a nerf. What nerf could that be? Well, possibly decrease the fire rate to how it kind of was before, but just a little tiny bit more faster, if that makes sense. This gun is too overpowered, and I hope that it gets nerfed really quickly because I hate to see anybody else raging about this gun being too powerful and basically getting lasered every single time. This gun needs a nerf. And currently, of course, it's one of the most broken guns in the game, and I would really hope if it gets nerfed real soon. Basically, the rate of fire, and possibly if it does get a little bit more slower, decrease one magazine to make it kind of fair. But more or less, the Galil is a very good weapon, and I hope there's something done about it sooner or later. Finally, the last thing was the Christmas cookie, and when I tested it out, it felt like it did nothing. And when I mean it did nothing was because, yes, it did give you 25 HP. It says it increases your stamina by 20% permanently, and clearly it does not. And the reason for that is, well, I actually do not even know. I tested it out with many other armors and maybe possibly not sprinting at all, but it really doesn't seem to be doing anything. So, in my opinion, this is basically like the worst thing they've ever could have done, because it felt like they did nothing to it, and more or less just said, hey, look, its existence is still here, so there's that. And from 1 to 10, I would say it's, of course, a 0. Like, it feels like nothing was done about this, and I feel like it still is a very useful item. I mean, not a useless item. And more or less, I mean, it was technically very easy to get. You just had to play 12 days of the Christmas event. But either way, do not use it. Use the soda, candy cane, or even like a med kit for this. But mainly a candy cane, really, because the candy cane gives you 150 HP and a very fast speed boost for like about 10 seconds. Very useful, very overpowered, and more or less, do not use this goddamn cookie at all. I mean, Cookie Monster would even eat it if it was even in a dump site, okay? But I would not eat this no matter how clean it was, and even if basically Gordon Ramsay even approved it as well. But anyway, that's basically it. That was basically just me discussing the 5 things that they actually changed. What do I think about it? I would say that basically they were all kind of fine. The only ones that I did not like was the Christmas cookie, double barrel shotgun, and the Galil. The Galil just decreased fire rate just a tiny bit and decreased one magazine. Double barrel shotgun, give back the old state of how it was, but make the bullet spread just a tiny bit more wider, and that would basically make it a decent gun to go for. And the Christmas cookie, just don't do anything, because I mean it's not that good of a thing. So yeah, it never once was. No offense, but anyway, but that's basically it. Like, they were not that useful, and more or less just change those things. And yeah, I guess that's really it.